that right now, Democratic Governor Phil Murphy, as you saw Sharon just put up the graphic, well, he's trailing Republican Jack Ciattarelli by 61 votes. Political strategist Jeff Guillot joins us right now. Good morning, Jeff. Good to see you here. Well, so let's talk about this because even if Murphy pulls this victory out, right, this was much closer than a lot of people had anticipated. This is a state that Biden won pretty handily just last year. So how big of a huge of a red flag will this be for Democrats?
Well, what we see across the East Coast, not just in New Jersey, but Virginia, New York suburbs, etc., is a huge red flag for the Biden administration, a tangible and massive rebuke of the policies coming out of Washington, and a direct manifestation of Democratic apathy in the wake of the 2020 elections. Folks in the know knew New Jersey was going to be close. We knew Virginia was going to be close. We knew the New York suburbs were going to be close, but no one anticipated the level of GOP energy that we saw yesterday, and the lack of a Democratic turnout strategy that we saw yesterday, and that was across multiple states, across multiple organizations, just a systematic failure on every level.
Yeah, Jeff, let's kind of divvy that out a little bit. How much of this, like you said, a lot of it has to do with the Biden administration because the energy just isn't there. They're coming off of what happened last year in the election because he's not been able to get a lot of legislation done. A lot of it's not his fault because the Democrats got to work together in order to do that. We understand that. So how much is exactly on him? How much is it on the individual candidates? Because in New Jersey, taxes, that was a big issue in that campaign there. And in Virginia, we're talking about CRT, critical race theory, and a lot of things that's involving that situation right there. And maybe what McAuliffe didn't do instead of what he did.
Yeah, the critical race theory question in Virginia is fascinating because, while McAuliffe got, kind of hung on this issue, kind of hung up on this issue, and was hit over and over again on this public education question, there really wasn't a salient response by the campaign to explain what critical race theory even was. It was deeply problematic. They were just kind of hoping the whole thing would go away, and it didn't. At the end of the day, they were unable to turn out that same Northern Virginia base that delivered that state to Biden by 10 points. I think a lot of folks don't realize how electorally safe for Democrats Virginia has recently been. Mark Warner and Tim Kaine comfortably win re-election there. It was not a tough state for Biden to win. And yet here we are. And this is proven out in comparable suburban regions around the country last night, where Republicans won in places where at times it was unfathomable to think, unimaginable to think, that Republicans could perform so well. But it was a manifestation of a poor turnout strategy, a lack of Democratic energy, and a frustration with what folks are seeing out of Washington and out of Congress. And that was unilateral across the board. This failure is spread amongst multiple parties.
And Donald Trump couldn't wait to take some of the credit. He's taking some of the credit when it comes to Youngkin winning in Virginia, thanking his base for coming out, and helping him win that election. And also saying that McAuliffe, his strategy of tying Youngkin to Trump actually helped Youngkin win this election. How closely do you think that is to being the case?
I think it is 100% the case. It was very clear that if you look at the turnout numbers out of Southern Virginia and the areas where Trump performed well last year, those turnout numbers far surpassed what you saw in the Democratic-rich northern suburbs, and that is a direct manifestation of a conservative base coming out to vote. Also, important to understand too that the independent voter, as a species, wasn't really independent last night. They voted Republican almost across the board in every state. The independent, progressive, or liberal voter that came out to reject the policies of President Trump in 2020 was gone. They were either on vacation, they were asleep, they were elsewhere. I mean, they did not manifest themselves in this election.
Jeff, you saw some major wins when it comes to black and brown communities when it came to smaller elections in the mayoral races or whatnot, city council, the governors, obviously, we just talked about that as well. But as a strategist, now, if you're a Democratic strategist and you saw what happened last year in the general election, the presidential election, you see what's happening this off year, what is your strategy? What do you have to do going forward in order to have better results come the midterm in 2022?
I think that in a lot of cases, Democrats saw some bad polling numbers and ran to the center. And oftentimes, if you give an electorate a choice of two Republicans, they're going to elect the real one. And that's what you saw happen in a lot of places. That might be what ends up ultimately happening in New Jersey. Folks saw legislation stall in Washington. They saw President Biden's numbers getting bad and decided let's run an end around and let's move to the center. Let's try to find a way to run on policies that are comparable. And that was a real problem. I mean, here in New York, you're going to have probably 6 Republican New York City Council members, which is certainly a high for quite some time, certainly since I've been active in this business. So, like a lot of this pivoting to placate the base was a problem. The folks who performed well are the folks who ran on core Democratic issues, ran as proud Democrats, and I think that transcends socioeconomic lines, it transcends ethnic lines. Run on the issues that got you where you are. Don't pivot to placate where you think the electorate is, because a lot of folks did that and are feeling the consequences today.
Yeah, you better talk to the people where they can actually hear you. Jeff Guillot, political strategist. We
That's
appreciate
right.
your time. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Start Your Day.